Hello, and welcome to the second day of our Canva course for beginners. So, like we said earlier in the introduction, today we're going to start with template editing. We're going to learn how to edit templates, find the templates that we need, and the correct way to actually filter out all the different information that's there. Because if you browse through, and you wanted to use a template for any design that you wanted, and what you wanted, you decided to just go through the site and scroll through, you'd find so many different templates for so many different things. You find templates for presentations, you're going to find templates for ads, for Facebook, for newsletters, and all these different things, because Canva does have so many features. You have resumes, you have business plans, you have videos, even designs for a website can actually be found here. So I want to narrow it down to what you need. And the first point that's going to help you narrow it down is, what is the design for? Okay, let's say you want to start off with something like a logo. Okay, so let's say it's a logo of something like, let's say it's a thrift shop. So if you just type in thrift here, okay, and you hit search, what would immediately happen is that you'll be overwhelmed with so many different things. You would have a few logos here, different thrift clothes here. You know, you have some posters here and there, but then it's all sorts of things here. It's a bit of a mess, okay? So some of the ways you can narrow it down to know which template to use for the logo. You could either type logo here to make your search more specific, thrift logo, or you could come here to rate within category. Okay, you click that. Is it for a post, for a story, or logo? You just click logo. Immediately filters out everything else, and you're just left with beautiful logos you can use. Now, there are different types of thrift stores. What I typically do in the real world is that this will not be as useful as you think it is. Yes, you have a bunch of thrift clothes, store logos here, but then each client will have a specific brand with them. Okay, maybe as an individual, maybe you have a target audience specifically. So let's say, for example, if you're targeting either men's clothing or female clothing, like women's clothing, it's going to be very different, and you want your logo to kind of represent your target market. If your target market is just formal clothing, for instance, right? Rather than type thrift here, you could type formal wear. Okay, let's say we do that. Okay. It immediately helps. You see that? We have something, something that suits kind of the whole modern vibe, the whole formal aesthetic. Okay, so I have some clothing here. Okay, so let's say clothing instead. See if that's a bit different. Alright, that is a bit different. Okay, so you see things here that, so now all you have to do is scroll through and find the brand that you like. Now, another thing to avoid, okay? Do not try to pick the first few ones that you see there, okay? Reason being, the way the algorithm is designed, okay? The most popular tend to be at the top. And because it's popular, it means that you pick a logo from among the first few ones that you see, immediately see something nice and you pick that, you're very likely to find that somewhere out there in the world. If someone else designed something for a formal clothing store, you might end up finding a logo that kind of matches that. What you want to do is take your time. Go to the least popular ones, okay? Because you can always edit it later on. Try to go down to a logo that just kind of fits something that you want. Might not be exactly what you want. And then another thing you want to take note of. So you see these little crowns here. So this is a free course, okay? And we're trying to use Canva as a free tool. However, there is a pro version with premium features, okay? So one of them are also, so some of these logos here, you see they've got the premium icon on them, which means you cannot use this under the free version of Canva unless you use it under the paid version. So you want to avoid that and focus on the free ones. And you still have a huge variety of choices even under the free version, okay? So do not let that limit you. Alright, so, okay? And another thing you should also try to do is try to get two things from your client. If it's a client that you have, try to see if they have an idea of the type of brand that they want, which is maybe certain colors they want to be reflected there, maybe certain hashtags, taglines, And those things tell you a lot about the type of design you're looking for. It will tell you whether your client wants something that will pop, or maybe they want something that's going to be very eye-catching. For example, if they say something like pink, red, bright yellow, already they want designs that are very, bright and that very eye-catching. Or maybe they want something a little calm, modern, simple. That would tell you also the type of design that you're looking for. Okay, so because you want to, usually this process alone, finding the right template can take forever. Let's say you really want to make sure you nail it. Okay, it could really take your time and find the exact right. Let's look at this one, for example. This looks like a really cool one. So you click it. If you like it, you click. Now, when you click it, what you're going to notice is that it brings this little interface here, which is a great interface. What it really does is, now that Canva knows that you're interested in this specific kind of logo, it shows you logos that are similar. Okay, and these are very similar logos to it. Okay, different templates that are similar to it, and you can pick one of them if you think you like it a little bit more. Okay, so if you have maybe an idea of what you want and find something similar, this can also help you. But then, like I said, ideally, we know that ideally you can still edit it to fit what you want. Okay, open it up. Okay, so now that we have this open, we can have a look at this, right? So we have our design here. We have it in black and we have it in white, which is really cool. Okay, so you could make changes to this, find something that suits better, or maybe if you'd want to shift this, right? So here, when you're trying to change the logo, just from the way it looks, I can tell already that this thing, the logo is grouped. Unless I'm mistaken. Oh, no, it's not grouped. Okay. So the way grouping works is that when you group things together, it makes it easier for you to move them around. Okay. So I'm just going to group everything here. Okay. So let's say you wanted something different, and maybe your name is not Olivia. Okay. Maybe you have a different name or something in mind. Maybe your name still has an I somewhere. And yeah, so this is my favorite name. You know what? I'll use my name. So let's say your name was Daniel. Okay? And we see that I is somewhere else, right? Let's say we still want to keep it somewhere where the I is. And something else that you'll notice is that when you put it there, maybe the I, it's not really going where you want it to be. So there are two things you can do to try to change that, okay? So you can either increase the spacing between the letters, okay? That could get you the effect you want, where it covers the eye, okay? Another thing you can do to make it easier for yourself is you can come to the eye and actually change the color specifically for the eye itself. That way you can place that just there in the center, and now you can see that the eye is in front of it. So this is called layering. So Canva has a layering system. So there are two ways to do it. You can either click the word, the text, and say layers, and then say send backwards. And there you go. Okay? Or you could click position. Okay? What position does is that it shows you the position of literally everything in your design, and you can move these any way that you want to. You put that there, behind that, so the entire thing moves behind, or so on and so forth. Alright, so you see, so you have Daniel Fashion Studio, okay, let's say that, and you like the design, right? And you want to change it here as well. So you can either make the exact same changes here, or you can click here which you can duplicate, okay, and just duplicate the entire page. And then what you can do is you click all the letters together, and then you change the color to, let's say, white. Change the color of all the text here to white. And you click that as well, change it to white. And then change the background to black. And there you go. Alright. And then you can delete that. Alright, and then you can see we still have the same color with the same issue there. So like I said, we can now we have to change the related to, okay, well, we can actually do that. Sorry, let's take it back to where it was. So because we don't want to change the position, it needs to be the exact same position as the other one. So we don't want to, change the positioning too much. So I need to be in the exact same position as the one before. Okay, so let's look at the letters there. You can still move it using the arrows. I like that. Change the color there to black so it blends in the background. You don't want to click this because if you click this, it's going to change all the whites here to black. So you just want to just change the one thing here. And you are done. And there you have it. Done your fashion studio. You're done. You go to share. You click share. And then still loading, but yeah, from share. Click. Now here's another important thing you can do when it comes to editing anything. Here, you can actually allow anyone with a link to your design to edit and change anything. So if you click here, and then it says edit, right? So you can say view, comment, edit, depending on what you want the person to do. So you copy this link, you can send it to someone on WhatsApp, on their email, and they can either edit it to suit their needs, or if you just want them not to change anything, you can put it as just a commenter, but they can put beauty comments there to say what they want changed, or you can use view, where they can just see it, which is good for like if you have a portfolio of little logo designs that you design. Maybe you design a whole bunch of logos for different things, and you can send a link to someone where they'll be able to actually see what the logos you've designed without being able to interfere with anything there. So that's one way to do it. Alright, so sorry, we go there. Okay, we say download. Okay, give me a second. Okay. Oh yeah, then now you want to see the type file. Do you want it as a PDF, as a JPEG, or do you need it as a PNG? So for now we just go for a PNG, and then yeah, so we can download that. Let's download it. And there you go. It's being downloaded. Now, let's say you have downloaded it for a specific reason, okay? Because typically, okay, let's try and do this quite quickly. Typically what happens is that if you wanted to, let's say now you want a poster, right? So now you want to design a poster, you click poster. Oh yeah, we said we're using formal design. Poster, so I say formal clothing poster. Okay, and you click that. We want to remove logo here because now I'm not looking for a logo. I was going to, maybe we have something specific. We need it for social media, maybe Instagram. Filters out, it gives us only Instagram posts. Okay, I just want to show you something real quick, so I'll just pick anything at random for now. Okay, let's say I'm going to pick this one. Okay, we'll click customize. Right, and then okay, So let's say you wanted to add your logo here. You change a few things here, it fits what you want. So let's remove that there. And let's say you want to replace that with the logo. So you could come here, and because that background was white, black, so we'd definitely use our black logo here. So you could group everything, okay? Grouping helps because, like I said, you'll be able to move the logo around the screen without leaving the girl behind or the fashion studio behind. Everything goes together. So you're going to copy it, okay? And then you come here, and then you're going to paste it. Okay, okay, so this copy style and this copy style just copies kind of like the format. You want it to copy or paste in everything that's there. So you want to post the entire logo. Okay, yes, well. Okay, yes. So let's say we put that there, right? That's easy peasy. That's easy to do when you're using your own logo. Okay, logo you've designed within yourself. It's easy to just find it from there, find it in a design that's already there, and you just copy it and you paste it. Now let's say a client gives you a logo. Okay? The client gives you a logo and you want to actually copy the logo here. So there are different tools that you can use, okay, to make your life easy in that sense. And we're going to have an entire lesson on it. Look at so many different tools because, like I said, the features, some features that are not really available here, like for example, removing the background, resizing, how to resize images, how to remove the background. Some of these features are actually premium features, so if you want to actually use them, you find it limits you, okay? Also, always make sure to change the name here before you, okay, so studio. All right, that helps. So when you download it, you don't have to rename it later on. So for now, I'll just teach something. I'll just show you something simple. Let's say you want to change the name for, you want to remove the background for the logo, and that's not really a feature that's supported here. You want to use like a different background. So, like for example, let's say you're going to upload, okay? And you uploaded a logo. Let's say for now, let's try using the Canva logo itself, right? Let's say you uploaded it, okay? You put your logo there, and you want to move the background, okay, for the logo, so that you can move it around the screen, center it, edit it, anywhere that you want, okay? Okay. So, oh yeah, sorry. So when you click it, you see here, right? So that's the background remover. You're seeing it's a premium feature, so you actually can do that. Okay. So one way to go about it is, okay, typically there are some free background removers that you can actually find online that allow you to actually edit and remove text from the background. Okay? I'm sorry, allow you to remove the background for either videos or images. Okay? I'm going to show you one of them. So when you type background remover, it's usually the first that pops up. Now, usually the first that pops up is actually, okay, alright, yeah. So yeah, usually the first one that pops up. It's called remove.bg. Okay, remove.bg. You click it. Okay. And then what you do is you'd put your image into this, you'd upload it here. It's drag and drop. You can either drag and drop here or just upload the image there. If you remove the background and then you have a logo that doesn't have the background, it allows you to do the exact same things that we're just from doing here. Okay? Which means it allows you to be able to now actually move around the logo and place it any way that you want. So that's just something I wanted to show you, to like some of the issues that I come across when you're doing your design. Sometimes the client will give you a design. And so, yeah, so we have this. That's basically it. And then when you're looking at color schemes as well, when it comes to knowing which colors to pick, and this is just like some quick add-ons. One thing I would advise is really know what your client wants. Okay, know the colors that they want, because you don't know, if you're the person, for example, managing their page, you don't want every single feature, every post to have different colors here and there. You need someone to be able to see just based on the way the design looks and know exactly who this product is just by looking at it. The minute they'll be able to see, okay, but so you want something that makes either one, the logo stand out, or two, the specific color scheme that makes it known that, okay, this is the color for that, okay? And so that's just a few things I wanted to tell you about. Yeah, idea that I could go into editing, putting different things, but that's going to end up tomorrow's class where we look at elements, which is now how you look at how to edit a logo, how to add different things to a design, frames, which is what was used here for these pictures. They're called frames. How to use frames, the best ways to use frames in a design. So that's what's going to be discussed in tomorrow's class. So that's what I wanted us to look at today. I hope it's made sense. I hope you like it. Don't overwhelm me too much information to start. But yeah, that's just the basics of Canva, how to find the template that you need and how to edit that template. So yeah, that ends today's lesson. Thank you so much for following to the end. And once again, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to add a link. I'll add a link to some of the tools that I used here, to the background remover, as well as a link to our community so that you can actually join it and be able to interact with us, give us any questions and comments. And yeah, I look forward to hearing from you.